What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our preview. All right, it's going to get good this weekend. 3 Kentucky Derby preps on the docket, and the one down at South Florida is what we're going to talk about here. It's the Holy Bull Stakes. I'll put it up on the screen for you now. Always a fun one. Always a fun one down at Gulfstream Park. Going on mile and 16th, grade 3 event for the 3-year-olds, obviously. Field of 9, that's going to get trimmed down. We'll talk about that right now, actually. So the number 6 Butane is cross-entered here and in the Southwest Stakes. The plane to Gulfstream was canceled for Butane, so Butane will not make this race. It also kind of sounds like Game For It may run next week, actually, in the Sam F. Davis and not here. So Butane and then Game For It, if possible with Game For It. I'm not 100% sure on that one yet, but Butane 100% will not be here. So we won't talk about Butane at all. We will kind of talk about Game For It just in case. So field of 8, maybe field of 7. Let's talk about him now. The number 1 Incredible is where we'll start. And this is an exciting prospect. There's no doubt about it. Riley Mott has this son of Bolt D'Oro, and 2 races back, broke the maiden at Churchill Downs, and then last time out stretched out to this distance, a mile and a 16th, and won the Street Sense Stakes in stylish fashion. If you go, man, Riley Mott, kind of looks like Bill Mott when it comes to this horse, how he won with sovereignty in the Street Sense before coming down here to South Florida and having success last year. Incredible. Look, I think when you look at the numbers, he's a little bit light, but that doesn't really bother me this time of year. If it was late in the 3-year-old season, we still didn't see numbers that were, just really, really impressive, then it might, but he's still learning. He's still growing. This is a Mott, right? We're going to take it slow. We're going to get this horse right at the right time. So Incredible. Pretty excited to see him come back. Let's see what he does. Very excited to kind of see what he does in this spot. The number 2 is Roger That Dana. This is a horse that ran in the Mucho Macho Man last time out, was defeated by almost 7 lengths by, a pretty good horse, right, for Brad Cox there in this one. Commandment won the race. I didn't feel like there was much else. I'd kind of been saying, yeah, Commandment was good, but I don't really know what else is there. Roger That Dana was who else was there, right? He got second. I'm not liking him in this spot, to be completely honest. I think this race is tough, and I don't think that he fits in it real well. So kind of a pass for me on Roger That Dana. The number 3 is Project Ace. This is a horse coming off of a maiden special weight win back in November 15th to be exact, at Churchill Downs. Won the race in a very close finish, got the job done closing from, about 8 or 9 lengths behind there for most of the race, was able to close and get the job done. 2 races before, just barely missed at Keeneland, running almost the exact same type of race, falling way behind and making a run. 3 races back on debut, fell way behind, made a run. I think this horse will fall way behind and make a run again. I don't like the horse to win, but I think, if you're looking for maybe a horse to hit the board, maybe a couple of the big ones don't fire, this is a horse that's going to pick up the pieces. So he's getting better with every race as well. 2 races around 2 turns as well. The last 2 races were at a mile and 16th. So I'm interested. Underneath, I don't think this horse can win, but I do think we'll kind of close up and get a piece of it. The number 4 is Global Aviator. This horse has 1 race. It was a debut win right here at Gulfstream Park, 6-furlong event, and won by a quarter of a length there. Pretty good debut effort. Son of Global Campaign. So it'll be interesting to see if this horse stretches out successfully, and that's kind of where I'm leaning. I am a little worried about the stretch out for the number 4 Global Aviator. I do think he's interesting. I think he'll pop the gate a little bit quicker than he did last time out. He got way behind, rushed up, and was able to hold on. I think he wants to go a little bit earlier, so I do think it'll be interesting to see how he runs. I'm kind of a wait-and-see approach with him in this spot. I'm not like negative on the horse, so to speak, but I don't know. I'm wait and see here. I'm not sure that this is the spot for him, but we'll see if he can kind of jump up here, stretch out, and get into the little bit deeper waters today. The number 5 Canoneer. This horse was super impressive. Let's talk about the debut race where he wasn't exactly impressive. He was bet down to 1-2 on debut. So there was a lot of people that liked him. And this was all the way back on June 1st. The horse got the lead and faded, going 5.5 furlongs. And maybe it was just a little too sharp for him. I don't know. Guy ended up being 3rd, beating 3 lengths. Wheeled back on in November, and that also kind of shows me June to November. He may have had some issues maybe that caused that loss. But wheels back in November on the Stars of Tomorrow 2 card, and a maiden special weight. He wins by 7 1/4. He just absolutely dominates the race. He was bet down to favoritism that day as well. You look at this race on paper, he looks like the lone speed to me. I think he's just simply faster than the rest of this group. And going a mile and 16th at Gulfstream, I think that's a big advantage. Remember, they have a short stretch. They use a different finish line when they go a mile and 16th there at Gulfstream. So I'm a pretty big fan of him in this spot specifically. I think he's going to round the corner, be very, very tough to catch if he gets out to that loose lead like I think. Stretching out to a mile and a 16th should not be a problem. The source is bred to do it, being by Into Mischief. So Irad Ortiz gets aboard once again for the second straight race. So I think all systems go here. Another good sign is it just kind of feels like, right after the race, we kind of heard, or right after the Holy Bull, I should say, we kind of heard that Commandment, this could be the race for him. He's not here. Canoneer is here, and that just kind of shows me Cox kind of likes this spot. So I think Canoneer shows up here. I think he looks pretty good in this spot, especially from a pace situation. The number 6 is Butane. He's not running here, so we will skip him. And we'll go to the other horse that I really like in this race, the number 7, Nearly. So they'll end up breaking right together there, Canoneer and Nearly. Poor debut effort, and then tried state-bred maiden special weight company. In the next start, won by 9 1/4, and then went into a allowance field next and won by 5 lengths right here at this track. So Nearly certainly a horse. He's got the flashy buyer speed figure from that allowance race. There wasn't much in there, but boy, he did look very good in that spot. I think he's going to be very tough in this race. I think it's a 2-horse race between the 5 and the 7. Can the 7 catch the 5? And then Incredible, can he come back and maybe catch both of them? That's the question. Nearly, he's set pretty close to the pace, in both of his races. He's not going to come from way out of it. I think he can make up the ground if he's good enough. Horses by not this time. It is a Florida bred, but I think is bred to go long. I think he'll be okay. Both the 7 and the 5 Canoneer Nearly stretching out from 7 furlong races to a mile and 16th. So going long for the first time. That's the big question mark, but they do seem to be, from a talent standpoint, the two that stand out. The number 8 is Bravaro. Bravaro coming into this race off of 2 wins against New York bred company. Maiden special weight win at Belmont at the Big A, and then stretched out to a mile. That maiden special weight win was 6 furlongs. Stretched out to a mile in Sleepy Hollow last time out, another state-bred stakes, and got the job done and looked even better doing so. Another horse by Upstart. It's definitely bred to go a mile and 16th. It's just the question of, can we step up now? We look good against New York bred company, and now we got to kind of open the door to some much tougher runners here in this one. But he's another one. I kind of look at the Bravaro and Project Ace. It's like, man, these two can hit the board for sure. And if a couple of the favorites, kind of stub their toe, maybe they can get up and win. This horse has talent. This is a tough one because I am pretty high on Canoneer Nearly, and even Incredible to some degree. It's a toughie to go into open company, but he has looked pretty flashy. We've seen New York breds come down here and win before, right? 'Tis the Law comes to mind immediately. So, yeah. Now, I think Bravaro shows up here. I think he'll run a very good race. I don't know if he's going to be good enough or not. And then finally, number 9, Game For It. We could see him next weekend, so we'll see what happens there. He could scratch out of this race. We'll see, though. Maybe not. So we'll talk about him real quick. He debuted in a restricted maiden there at Aqueduct, got the job done by a half length, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a decent race. I don't know. I think it's probably a good kind of thought that maybe he goes to Sam F. Davis next week, to Tampa Bay Downs for the Sam F. Davis. I am skeptical that he's going to show up here and make an impact second out, but he might. This horse is by known agenda who wanted to go long. This was a 6 furlong race, and the horse was still able to win. Now going long, I think the horse improves. I just don't know to what level, and that was kind of my pause with him. But he's bred pretty well. He's bred to go long. When we get to a mile and an 1/8, this horse may do a lot of improving. So I'd keep an eye out for him. Not today. I don't think he's going to run in this one anyway, so no big deal. But keep an eye out. And maybe next week he's going to look better against those horses. We'll kind of see how that goes. All right. I kind of alluded towards it. It's a two-horse race between Canoneer and Nearly to me. I just kind of went back and forth on, okay, you know, is Canoneer going to get a lead that it's just they can't catch him, or will nearly kind of keep him in his sights, or even incredible, but nearly kind of keep him in his sights. I just worry in this race, Canoneer's going to get loose. And I think at a mile and 16 at Gulfstream and you're kind of loose on the lead, I'm not sure nearly catches him. So I'm going to go number 5, Canoneer on top. I'm just using the 5 and the 7 in this race and moving forward. I like I said, it could be one of those things where I'm kind of kicking myself if nearly does win, but I will have him on all the tickets. But I am going to go number 5, Canoneer on top. I think the pace projection makes sense for him. I think he's a good horse too. I shouldn't sit here and say, well, it's all about the pace. No, I mean, I think he's a pretty good horse as well. And I think the pace helps him a little bit in this one. And that short stretch will help him a little bit as well. One thing about it, though, last year, Sovereignty was able to win a short stretch race there at Gulfstream, but is nearly Sovereignty. No, I'm not sure about that. So probably not. So I'm going to go number 5, Canoneer, to hold off nearly in this one. Could go either way. I think both these horses are good. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this one. All right, guys, that'll do it for a preview of the Holy Bull Stakes. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alert anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're playing Gulfstream on Saturday.